Hello and welcome to In Business Friday Fix, episode number 31. We are thrilled to welcome you to this, our bonus episode. We're your hosts, Tracy and Ian Earle, founders of In Business, a networking and business support community. And together,
we are In Business. Every Friday we'll be discussing a business-related subject with either one of our wonderful networking, In Business networking members or a fellow business owner who'll be sharing their advice, thoughts or knowledge on a particular topic. This week we have Elaine Atherton of To Sum It Up. Now, Elaine's passion and success comes from helping coaches and small businesses turn their love of helping others into sales. She will be your challenger, your cheerleader, your accountability partner and sales coach, working with you to get you the best results that you want.
And make sure you listen to the end of the show to hear our guests tell us about their favourite networking tip.
Right, so welcome to our Friday Fix this week. We have Elaine Atherton of To Sum It Up. Welcome, Elaine.
Hello, lovely to be here. Thank you very much for inviting me.
Welcome, Elaine. Good to have you with us today. Can I start by asking you a little bit? Can you tell us a little bit about what you do, Elaine?
Oh, yeah, sure, I can. So my title, if you like, is a sales and accountability coach. But what that means in real terms is I help small business owners really get to grips with their sales. Because one of the things, as we know, most people don't start a business, do they, to actually sell. They start a business because they love what they do, or they're passionate about it, or they found that gap in the market. And the sales bit is just something that is a necessary thing, obviously, to stay in business. So I work with a lot of what I love to call accidental salespeople, or people who just find themselves in the sales arena, but actually it's only because they started their business, and then it comes with that, of course.
So like you say, no one tells you that in order to achieve this dream business, you've got to become an expert at selling. So how do you help people to do that?
Well, yeah, and it's so true, and it's a bit of an emotional roller coaster for people, isn't it? Really, you start a business, and then and I know you two know this, is that there are so many different hats you have to wear, and you don't really anticipate all of that, and so for the sales hat, which is the bit I help people with, is I have some sort of processes and steps they go through, and it really all starts with why did they start their business? What is it they want to achieve by running their business? So we go through the why, their why, and then we go through the who. So who is it that you're helping? And I often say to people, when you're doing your market research, please don't ask your family and friends, because they want to remain your family and friends, so they're not necessarily going to be the most objective in their feedback. So when you look at who that who is you really got to do your research outside of your inner circle, if you like, and be very objective about that. So that's sort of the first two things we look at, and if we get that foundation right, then it leads to the other elements of it, because if we don't get those things right, then we're building on the wrong foundation and it won't work. Yeah.
So do you help them to identify the why and the who?
Yeah, the why and the who. So why did they start their business? What is it they want to achieve? So whether it's a product or a service, what is that what difference is that going to make to the people who buy it? So we really get underneath their why, because to be quite honest, on the tough days, your why and your purpose is the stuff sometimes that gets you through, isn't it? It's not always easy, but when you keep your eye on that end goal and your reason, if you like, your purpose for doing it, it can really help you get through some of those tough days. So then we look at the who, and we do that in a lot of detail. So who do you think you're helping? What outcomes are people looking for, and who are those people? Because people buy with emotion. So they buy because they're feeling pain in a certain way, whether it's something that's keeping them awake at night, or whether it's, something that's taking away all their time. They buy with some sort of emotion going on. So what is it that people will look at your product and say, all right, that's really going to help me with that? And of course, people don't find those reasons unless we highlight them sometimes. The purpose of any type of copy or anything we put on our website or blogs is that we're tapping in to those pain points. So when people read them, when our ideal client reads them, they realize that, oh, that actually, you could be describing me there. That's exactly how I feel. And I'm very transparent about, we are not all going to be right for everybody. And the sooner people get over that, the better. Because when they start to realize, actually, it's okay that I'm not right for everybody, and equally not everybody's right for me. And once we get beyond that, it makes it a lot easier, because you know this person. If you've done step one right, you actually know this person that you're really going to be able to help and be clear on the outcomes that you provide. So that's the first chunk of it, really. And then the next bit we look on it is, where are they? So where are these people that you're helping? And again, we can go into the whole, well, they could be, anywhere. They could be on all different social media platforms. They could be at networking. They could be wherever. But actually, that they could be there, but actually, where are they? In your case, because everybody's different, there's some people's clients are not on Facebook. Some people's are on LinkedIn. Most of my clients come from LinkedIn. So what's the point in you spreading yourself across all these things when actually, it takes a lot of time, social media, as we know.
It does.
Yeah. And if you go into the wrong place for your clients, then it's actually, counterproductive. It actually feels very deflating then, because you feel like nobody's answering you and nobody's responding, when actually the people for you are not there.
But I think that's how we feel with our Facebook page. But we get lots of more interaction on Instagram and LinkedIn.
Yeah. Facebook for us has never been particularly good, has it? Although you get a lot of people recommending Facebook for business, but for us, it's not really generated anything, has it? No, it's nice. I think I see Facebook as more as a social thing, really. Like I'm going on holiday this week, or I've washed my hair, or something. You've got all sorts of stuff on, don't they? And you think, I see LinkedIn as more businessy, I think. But I'm probably obviously wrong. Obviously, it works.
No, I don't. I think you're right. I think it does depend on what your business is, because Facebook groups are great. People are sort of in certain like product arena. I've got a friend who makes blankets, but they're for that can be used for around campfires. She's big into scouting and things, so she does brilliantly on Facebook, and she's in loads of Facebook groups. So it definitely depends on your product, I'd say, where you have the most success, really.
I've got to say, I've listened to that podcast of yours with that lady.
Oh, have you?
Yes, yes. Elaine does her own podcast as well, which you can mention at the end, Elaine, as well.
So what does from your perspective then? What do people tend to, when they first come to chat to you, what is it they struggle with the most? What is it that you have to, what do they have to get over? What is the fear? What is it what is their pain? What is the main issues that they have?
No, it's a great questioning. I'd say the biggest thing is the fear of being salesy and pushy. Is what screams out to most people, and I totally get that, because let's be honest, who wants a pushy salesperson? As buyers, which we all are, in some shape or form, who wants a pushy salesperson? Absolutely nobody. So, my first response is, when they say that, is I don't want to be salesy or don't want to be pushy. And so, well, that's absolutely fantastic, because your potential clients don't want you to be either. So there's a win straight away. So it's about really turning their passion and their love of helping other people into some sort of processes and sales and actions, and really. So I'd say that is definitely one of the biggest things. They don't want to be pushy, but as I say, you can't be a secret and a success. So you've got to be putting yourself out there, or people will never find you. And that is an absolute given. Now, how you choose to put your messaging out there, as we've just said, where are your clients, is up to you. That as long as you're in the right place and you're talking to the right people, then that you've got obviously a much higher chance of getting a response. Because there's a few things that happen. We can either have the right messages, so we know who our ideal person is, we know the pain points of feeling, so we've sort of got our words right, But if we're putting it the messages in the wrong place, then we're not going to get any response, because the people who are reading it thinking, well, this doesn't apply to me. As buyers, we move on very quickly, so we literally just skim past it. Doesn't apply to me. Or we can be in the right place, but we're using the wrong words, and that equally obviously has a negative impact as well, because we're just not getting into the heads of the people, and using their words that mean something to them. So yeah, or we could get both wrong, of course, which is even a bigger challenge.
Total disaster.
But you know what? Everything's sortable in my world. Once you know what you're doing wrong, or you haven't got quite right, I like to say, it's not about doing wrong. It's actually about fine tuning and getting it even better, and then you can do something about it, can't you? So yeah.
And when people come to you, if they say, "Oh, I'm not a salesperson. I'm not," and they have this general fear. I know you said you could put it depends how you put it out there, but they have a general fear. How do you help them to overcome that? What do you say? Because some people are just so reluctant, I would imagine, to try and sell. I mean, there's nothing worse, is there? And I know I've done it. Cold calling, picking up a telephone, for example, and making a phone call. There's a dread. I don't care how many times I've done it. There's still a little dread inside of making that call. So how do you help people with that?
Well, it's breaking it down. It is a really good question. So you break it down into, I don't talk about sales, and that, which is what's quite laughable, as I am a sales coach. I don't talk sales to my clients. I talk about them and their business and who they want to help. So that's the first protocol, is we convert the word sales to helping. So let's not even talk about sales at all. So my questions are, who are they helping? How are they helping them? And I'm a big on mind mapping, and I encourage people to mind map. So I sort of put all these things out there. Don't overthink it, because that's what we tend to do. To put all those things out there, how you're helping people. So what is your product or your service going to do for people, and how are they going to feel once they've worked with you or bought your product? What difference is that going to make? So that's what we build this huge library, if you like, or catalogue of words and sayings and phrases. So it's with those that we work with then. So if I said to you, Ian, right, well, okay, you've said all these things. When you get people talking about the stuff they're passionate about and their business, it just really flows. We make sure then those words are the words of the person buying, not them as a salesperson, because essentially we are all salespeople who've got our own business. We're all selling, aren't we? So we make sure those words are the words that people would use. And the best way to do that is look at some testimonials that they've got and say, right, those people in their own words said that about your business, and that's what they got. So we need to have some of those in there, because they're words of those people. So we sort of get those together, and then what we then look at from there is, right, so where are these people? And so that's the next step, is where will we find these people? Whether it's networking, as you guys do, or I believe there's a combination of a number of things. I believe works. It's very unlikely you're going to find everything in one place for any business, but there's always obviously exceptions. So what sort of things can you do to deliver all these amazing words and talk about all these things, whether it's in a blog or it's in a social media post, whether it's encouraging people to sign up for your newsletter, or whether you're talking on something? What is it? Where are we able, or where are you able to talk about these things? Because now you've got your phrases and your words, and it feels a lot more comfortable. And some people are great at blogging. Some people are great at doing videos. Whatever we do, we've always got to have in mind the potential buyer. It's not what we think, oh, they want to hear this. Well, do they want to hear that? They didn't say that. They said they got this. So let's look at that in that way, through the buyer's eyes, really.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, look at it through their eyes. Yeah. Because so often I suppose lots of people have done it. I think we've done it in the past as well. We put something out there thinking, oh, this is probably what they want to hear. But you don't actually know that unless you ask people.
Yeah.
You're sort of guessing, you're assuming in a way, and it's not the right thing to do, is it?
No, so it's such a great point to that, because, and that is the classic thing people do. We think, oh, they'll need this. I know they'll need this. And of course, part of what I do with my clients is and say, so who did you ask about that? Is that what you think? Or have you asked them?
Yeah.
Well, I think they will. So based on, and it's all done in a lovely way, but actually it's those light bulb moments then that gets us so much closer to what works, than what doesn't.
Anyone starting out then in their business who are coming to see you or whatever, what would your 3 top tips be for anyone? I mean, you've gone through the who and the how and that sort of thing, but is there any other sort of 3 top tips you would give people who are starting out on their sales journey, if you like, or helping journey, even if you don't call it sales?
So what were the 3 top tips? Well, that's such a big question, that, isn't it? If they're starting out now, it has to be, that what I've just said really is who is it they're helping? Because if you don't get those first 2 steps right, you're really going to go wrong. And I've seen it so many times. And that's not to say if you've already started and you think, oh, I sort of ended up as I hoped. Everybody who starts a business can say that, well, it's sort of my vision at the start was this, but actually when I got going, it changed a little bit. So I say to people, your destination could be set in stone, but your route can be set in sand, because it can change. And that's okay, because we don't know until we actually get going, because we've got all these ideas we've got are in our head, then on paper. And then it's only when you put them into practice and into the real world that you start to shape it more. So I guess the who is important, but don't be afraid to get going and try it, because you only learn by doing. You learn nothing by just having an idea on a piece of paper and not doing anything with it. And sometimes that, the learning could be, actually, this isn't going to work as I thought. I really need to change it. But you've actually learned something and it's moved you forward. So that would be definitely one of them. The second one would be surrounding yourself with some really great people. You offer a great network of support there. It is massive to have that. And I think particularly, some of us end up in business from, we end up there from different routes, don't we? Some of it could be we've come out of a corporate role, an employed role, whatever that looks like. And we've now decided to start our own business. And that can be quite scary. I think you've had this infrastructure around you for so long, and then all of a sudden it's gone, and you think, oh, normally I say to somebody, could you create that for me, or could you do this? Oh, look, it's now me doing all of this. So without doubt, great network is really important. And then the third one, I suppose, keep thinking and trying different things out and getting feedback. Don't stand still, really. I've always worked on the basis that, the world doesn't stand still. The last 20 months has shown us that massively. So keep revisiting your client and what they need and what they want, because it can change, and you've got to keep up with that, because there's no point in saying, well, I only offer this, or I do this, or I do that, if your client is now moving away from that, and actually a client has changed essentially. So it's keep revisiting what people need so you can, provide that. So they would be my 3, I would say.
I mean, the last one's good, because you can just keep ploughing on down that same furrow. And if you're losing customers, then keep ploughing on the same route isn't going to help you, is it? You've got to sort of diversify and meet the needs of your clients.
You've got to change. You've got to adapt to change. Like you've rightly pointed out, the need to adapt and change. How many businesses have had to pivot and change? We have for some, haven't we? We weren't online. Now we're online. We were just meeting groups of people every week, weren't we, at venues? And now we're online. So you have to make the changes sometimes. And we know lots of other businesses have done things online that they didn't consider before. It's working well.
If we just said, oh no, we're only ever doing face-to-face, then we'd have been out of business for the last 20 months.
Exactly. And it is, adapting absolutely is key, isn't it? We don't know what the next year is going to hold, do we? So it is, again, about just keeping close to that, which is why I love to do my podcast, because while I do that, I do get to know where people are at and how they're feeling. So, you've got to keep close to the world of your client, haven't you, to understand it, and not in some ivory tower where you think you know what they need.
Oh, some excellent advice there, Elaine. Thank you very much. That's been really, really useful, and I'm sure people will get a lot of information and value from that.
Yeah,
so
some good stuff. Thank
you very much. Just tell us a little bit about your podcast as well. I was on it yesterday, I'll just add. Tell us a little bit about your podcast and why you do that.
I will indeed. I started it in July 20, and there's a number of reasons why I started it, because there we were then in the midst of lockdown, and I am a people person. I know I am a people person, so I love to talk to people. I get my energy, if you like, from talking to other people and about their business. Obviously we were a bit stuck at the time, and I had done a podcast previously, so I sort of knew how it worked. I thought I'd love to start a podcast talking to small business owners, because let's face it, we'd all been on quite a journey, hadn't we? Little did we know how much further we had to go on that journey. But so I thought, well, for me, it would be great to pay it forward and offer them the opportunity to talk about people who'd helped them on the journey. So I also thought, well, let's make it really something that gives them the opportunity to showcase their business and talk about what they do, who they help, and a bit about, their tough days, things they've learned. And so it's a combination of questions that help them quite easily talk about their business in a natural way, is the whole purpose of it. As we said at the start, most people don't like to feel like they're, talking about themselves and promoting their business. So by me asking these questions, of course, it's very easy then, because I've asked the question, they're going to answer it. So it's very natural. Yeah. And it's great when I hear people get back to me and say, I actually got someone contact me because they listened to the podcast, and that now they've become one of my clients. So that that's always very rewarding, knowing that it has to help people. So it continues, really. I think I'm up to about 65, 66 guests now I've had. So it's going well, and I really enjoy it. I meet some amazing people.
We do, yeah. You're right. You do meet some lovely people, don't you? And it is really a nice thing to do, isn't it? Yeah, we've enjoyed it.
Yeah, we do the Friday Fix, obviously, which you've just done, which is sharing information and also sort of highlights your skills and expertise. So hopefully people will get in touch with you after this. But we also do the couples podcast, because we are a couple in business. We talk to other couples about how they find running a business. It's really
fascinating, isn't it? Yeah.
Interesting to.
And there's a lot of similarities as well. You'd be surprised how similar themes come up, even though they're different couples in different businesses or
different relationships, because we've talked to like father and son, married couples, sisters, just business partners. So we've got all these different relationships.
Yeah, great idea. Yeah,
it's really interesting. So we do that as well. So if you know any business couples,
let us know.
Yeah, I will.
Actually, be on our podcast.
And if anyone wants to get in touch with you, Elaine, what's the best way? How do they get in touch with you?
Well, I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn, so you will find me there without a doubt. So that's Elaine Atherton on LinkedIn, and my website is www.tosummitup.com, and you'll find out all sort of my services on there. There's a link on there as well to just book a call. So if you sort of think, oh, I'm quite interested in chatting to you, it's a free call, obviously, because I don't work with everybody, because I'm not right for everybody. And, and equally, not everybody's right for me. So I absolutely pride myself on, if I'm not right for you, see if I can direct you to somebody that can help you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So that's the easiest way. My website or LinkedIn is the easiest way to get hold of me, I would say.
Well, that's fine. We'll put all the details in the chat. Not in the chat.
No, we'll put in the chat.
Put all your details in the show notes.
Zoom there, but you got to Zoom,
I know. We're all over the place. Look.
I'll say that again. We'll put all your details.
I'm not editing that. No, I'm going to leave that.
We'll put all your details in the show notes. There you go. That's if you want to edit that bit out. Give you some work to do.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, making my life.
Okay. Anyway, it's been lovely talking to you, Elaine, again. And
thank you for your time, Elaine. Yeah, it's been good.
It's been really nice to speak to you. Take care.
And you too. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been lovely and great to meet you both.
You're welcome.
Been a pleasure.
Yeah. Take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
We're almost at the end of this week's show, but before we go, we'd like to invite you along to one of our online networking events where you can meet some great business owners. The link will be in the show notes.
Thank you so much for joining us this week on In Business Talks 2 Friday Fix. We hope you've enjoyed it, and if you have, all that we ask is that you simply tell a friend about the show. And please follow or subscribe so you never miss an episode. We'd really appreciate it.
Oh, and don't forget to check out our books on Amazon. We've got 3 books available out there at the moment. Our latest one is called Notably Networking, a handy notebook full of ideas for questions to ask when you're having those all-important one-to-one meetings with fellow networkers. Plus, we have our 52 tips to help you improve your networking skills. And last but not least, we have our 90 Days to Your Success book, a handy little journal where you can log all your goals.
Set your goals and your intentions for the next 90 days. There you go.
Thank you for your help there, Tracy. Thank you.
Okay. So until next time, this is Ian and Tracy, and together we are in business. Goodbye.
Goodbye.